Hello and welcome. Today we've got Mr. Trumptastic, and today's story is how Alexa confirms the QFS. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and Mr. Trumptastic chooses our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Mr. Trumptastic, thank you for joining me, sir. How are you and what have you been up to?
Thank you so much, Nicholas. It's been a lot of things going on. I've been obviously busy with work and everything, and also observing everything that's happening, which is elevating. There's interesting news on obviously Elon Musk today, as we discussed earlier. But I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing. I've been catching all your videos, and just thank you for the awakening process is starting to happen all over. I had a subscriber tell me that some of his people that he's close to has actually come to him and said that they're saying you were right, and they actually believe him, right? So the awakening process is happening. It's been slow, but it's accelerating. But thank you for everything that you do.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I'm so honored and humbled to be part of a movement. And learning like the viewers. I have great guests like yourself, and it's great. I'm doing what I love doing, and that's learning and trying to educate myself and the viewers, and it's great. Thank you so much. So the QFS stands for the Quantum Financial System, which is the global currency reset. I just done an interview with David Mahoney and Charlie Ward last week, and they both confirmed also that Russia has gone back to gold, got to the gold standard, which 5,000 rubles equals to 1 gram of gold. Now, it will take, how many countries, the domino effect is going to happen where all the countries are going to inherit this formula for our banking system. So why don't you play to us what Alexa says about the quantum financial system, if you don't mind?
Sure. It's from one of my subscribers over the weekend, but I've seen additional videos of the same sort, but I'm going to listen to hear what this says, which is incredible.
Hey Alexa, is the U.S. switching to rainbow currency?
Here's something I found on the web. According to threadreaderapp.com, that our entire global banking industry has flipped to the QFS asset-backed digital currency, and that the U.S. will be switching from fiat USD to rainbow USN currency with new silver and gold coins, all with their own individual trackable embedded barcodes so the QFS can track.
Yeah, wow. So that's it's pretty incredible. We know that confirms that the White House in absolute total control. I tried to do it on Google Assistant. It didn't come up, but it's telling us everything that we need to know.
Well, what can we say? I mean, when Trump's involved, he doesn't mess around, does he? He's going to cause unprecedented situations, times like never seen before. Like he loves to say that phrase, doesn't he? So let's see what happens. Wow. So what does this mean with the dinars and the dongs and, even digital currency like XRP, which would be decentralized to us that the deep state do not like? Why don't you tell us, your take on all of this?
Well, I just think it confirms that what we know, the global currency reset is part of the, Nasara Jasara rollout. If you look at all the provisions, and there's probably like 20 of them, the GCR is part of it for all currencies to be on a level playing field. So what that means essentially is that, all these countries that have been depressed by the DS, they have assets that are, at such a high level, and unfairly, the DS has been suppressing them. And so with this GCR, everything is going to be reset to of equal value, just like on a level playing field, as 45 has always said. So everything will be returning to sovereignty. And that's what all of us have been anxiously waiting for. And so in terms of the reset, my sources, and I've been, looking at the message board, but I have on, private sources as well as saying that we're very close, that there's a waterfall to the essentially reset in terms of how it goes. It's the bonds first, because the bonds liquefy everything. It's the, debts of the U.S. corporation, as well as, all of the governments that have been under maritime law. That all that gets reset back to the constitutional or law, that in terms of the right way that we were supposed to go, way back when. And so through that process, all the currencies are going to be reset. First of all, go through the bonds. It liquefies from the German to the Chinese dragon, and then you go to the CMKX and prosperity packages. And so those are my understanding. Over the weekend, I heard that from Intel that they're asking for KYC information, know your customer information in banking. That means that they want to update your information into your background information. So that's very, very positive. And that rolls down to eventually, obviously, the Tier 4B currencies. And that's where, obviously we want to take part in it. And then finally it goes to Tier 5, which is the public. So it's a waterfall that has to go down. And, we've been at I've been calling it, inside the 5-yard line since Thanksgiving. And now I think within the 1-yard line. And I listened to your video with Charlie Ward, and that confirmed pretty much what I've been hearing in the sense that, as we got to the very end of this process, the swamp was so, dirty. And so they're cleaning it out. And that's why this, it's taken as long as it has. Because if they were to rip the Band-Aid off earlier, I think we'd have to deal with these, I always say clowns and all that, but we'd have to deal with, the corrupt individuals. And now, through the, you might as well do it. If it's going to take this long, you might as well go under the, the premise of the China bug and do what you need to do, and then finally rip the Band-Aid off. So I'm encouraged to hear everything that I'm hearing is that, we're very close. So thumbs up to that.
Absolutely. Now, when we say that Russia's gone back gold, to the gold standard, does that mean, can we actually say that the Russian currency, ruble, has been resetted, that's had a reset? Can we say that?
I think so. This has gone a totally different way from what I thought it was going to happen. This is the White House operating in 5D, right? So the way they did it was Russia was going to break away from the SWIFT system as they did, and now their currencies are backed by gold, the ruble, and they're only going to provide services and goods if you transact in ruble. And so Europe is they're coming out, and hearing through the MSM is that they're not going to do it. But if you don't do it, you're not going to get the oil and gas that you for your country. And so the way it's pretty much putting the DS in a rock in a hard place. And I think the same thing goes for the Federal Reserve in terms of hiking interest rates. You're going to hike interest rates on an economy that's plummeting. They've been able to, hide it in a lot of ways, but nothing can stop what's coming. At the end of the day, 45, 17, they've always told it's a movie. And it's pretty incredible to watch it unfold. It's just the only thing is it's been difficult because, everybody's suffering and all that. But if you're watching it in 5D, it is really something beautiful to see the way they've done it in a genius way. But the only thing I can complain about is, people are suffering, but they have a reason for that, right? Because they have, looking glass technology. They've obviously gone back and forth in their projections and saying this is the least havoc timeline, and that's what we're on.
So now that Russia's gone back gold currency, back to the gold standard, they've revalued their currency. So it's 5,000 rubles for, I believe, 1 gram of gold. What's happened to their tax system, the income tax there? Are they still paying income tax, or what does it mean for taxes now?
Well, I've seen clips here and there where, they're not, where they're already rolling out Nasara and a lot faster. Because I always thought it would be America first, but as I investigate more and more, it's America last. Because I think, because America has the MSM as well as so many distractions, sports, entertainment, media. And so Europe, Russia, even China, because China's, tied up the hip with Russia, India, all these other nations are already rolling it out. So it's kind of going the back way, which is something totally where I thought, because 45 has always said America first, but with regards to who's in the office right now, or he's not really there, but the clone, body double, the Brandon, right? This is all a movie to make him look like a complete imbecile. And this is what it takes. This is what it takes to have him tied with NATO, and every single action of what they're doing in this movie is to expose that. And it's unfolding before our eyes. And it has gone a totally different way from what I thought. And I'm just kind of, wowed of what I see. But it's accelerating. And so my understanding is that we'll start to see a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. So, just buckle up, right? That's what I've been hearing.
Wow. And when Trump was referring to America first, which he believes in, absolutely, do you think that he used that as an advantage, America first, to confuse the enemy as to, no, really, this is our plan? And the deep state thought that America would go first, and that was just to throw them off about Russia going back to gold standard, because they may have not ever expected Russia to go back to the gold standard first, like you said, America first. So do you think this could have been like a trick to fool the deep state?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, I think you hit it right on the nail of it. As you look back and we watched everything unfold, it's totally different way that we thought. And that's the geniusness of 45 and 17, right? That's what they do. They do everything's operating in 5D, where time it's not existent there. And so they play 5D chess in so many different ways. And as you start to see it, it's like, wow, I would never have thought that way, but that's what they're doing. And they're, rolling out the SARA, the gold back, essentially the asset back system in a way that you can't really, I mean, if you're not paying attention, you're not going to be able to see it, right? So all of us patriots, we're connected. We know what's going on. So when we see it, it's like, wow, I didn't see this coming. And then we're going to start to see everything else happen, and it's going to be connected to that. So, but we've always been said that, or through our research, we know that what they do is operating at an ultra high level. And yeah, it's just great to see that things are elevating to that final result.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the dinar, the dongs, the zims. How we know that now that Russia's gone back to the gold standard, they've had a reset. We know it's real. It's happened. It's not a conspiracy theory. Now the domino effect has begun. What do we look at in respect to indications of those currencies having a reset too?
Yeah. So my reservation on the GCR has been, we have to see the bonds liquidate first, right? So that's been key. We've seen some bond folks get some liquidation. We're talking about like very minimal, like 1% liquidation. So the whales are kind of waiting and been told to wait in line, and the redemption centers have been, working over the several weekends over the last several weeks, but everything has to go in sequence. So when we start to see the bonds liquidate, then everything that we've been waiting for on the currency side will happen. The ZIM, obviously, it's a bond, not a currency, as I said before. So, the minimum I've been hearing is obviously 1-to-1, but it's a defunct bond, meaning it doesn't have value in the current system. So, other sources have been telling me that it can be reset to whatever the White Hats want it to. But I just know that we're going to be in abundance, so I'm not really keying on certain rates and this, or even if everything was 1-to-1, I would be dancing in the streets one way or the other, even if it's 50 cents or whatever. So my concentration is when the reset right before it happens is that we're going to be set in abundance, and we're also going to be light workers, and we have a responsibility prior to going into it that you have to have the right mindset. There's going to be possible NDAs. I've heard it both ways, but either way, it's going to be an incredible. It's going to be incredible for us because we're going to be able to obviously celebrate and be the leaders and all that. But then huge with that comes huge responsibility, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to combining forces with patriots like yourself, like Charlie and David and everybody that's part of this to combine our resources to make the world a better place and to usher in a new world, right? 5D is where we want to go.
Absolutely. Now, what can you tell us about XRP? What would happen to that? Are banks going to use that and decentralize that digital currency into the banking system? What do you think that would happen? And will it be also gold backed?
Yes, absolutely. XRP is, as we know, is primary bridge currency in the QFS system. I already knew it was going to replace SWIFT. That's before I woke up. And then I understand now how it's tied together. Interestingly, one of my colleagues who was fully awoke put me in touch with a private placement firm that is promoting Ripple, which is the firm that uses the asset. And I was able to sign up for that. It's called Link 2. And they're in a part, obviously they're tied to the hip with Uphold, which is like a Coinbase, but I believe all these firms are white hat controlled. So Link 2, Uphold, and also Ripple, which is, the primary firm that promotes XRP is the one that, they're providing those shares pre-IPO, Uphold is. So, but XRP is my understanding in terms of researching the ISO coins is XRP is gold. It's the primary coin that's going to be moving money in as a bridge currency for the banks. Okay, and so step down for that on the silver side is going to be XLM, is what I'm hearing. And then there's other different coins like Algorand and some of these other ones that are going to be backed by different precious metals. And so if you have a little bit of money, I'm not a financial advisor, but you should just sprinkle things and be diversified as things start to unfold. Because per that the clip that we heard on the QFS and everything, that pretty much confirms, for a lot of those speculators say that this is not happening and this and that, it is happening. And if you're looking at all the tea leaves, you can see everything unfold. So just looking forward to, yes, XRP is an XLM and all these digital currencies that we know of that's tied to the White Apple operation. It's going to be pretty exciting to see.
Well, it's very exciting. You mentioned Elon Musk earlier. Do you want to tell us what the news is on Elon Musk?
Yes. So this morning he acquired, Twitter in terms of number of shares, 9.2%. So he's the largest shareholder in Twitter now. And so what that means is he has a significant amount of influence. And my logic and intuition is telling me that he's going to release 45 from the restrictions that he's at on his account. So we may finally see the storm tweet. Don't quote me on that. I'm just observing. When I saw that, that's what's immediately came to mind. There may be a story to it, but it can happen anytime, right? I think for a lot of truthers I talk with is that things could definitely boil up to Easter and start to really elevate. But since February, we've been seeing a lot of things happen, right? So it's just a continuation. I think it starts to accelerate. Maybe we'll see gas here in Los Angeles right now. It's around $6-7. Maybe we see it go to 10, 15, 20. Wow. Just all this stuff is to wake up the unawoken to what's going on. It's a process. I talked to my father this weekend, and he was like, "You're right. What you're saying was right." I said this like a year ago, and so he's kind of like on the edges to asking me what's going to happen next. So it's great to see, and I heard this on one of your videos, that people that have never even given me the time of day are starting to say, you know what you said has some meaning. So it's great to see it happen, and I think that's going to accelerate going forward.
Absolutely. And, it would be nice if Elon Musk got involved in Instagram too, because, like myself and many others are shadow banned on Instagram, and it's terrible.
Me too.
Now, if anyone wants to buy Zims or any currencies, I'll leave the link below, nasara.shop. Mr. Trumptastic, it's been great speaking with you. Thanks again for sharing that information with us. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Yeah, just briefly, I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much always for providing with the platform. I always look forward to our interaction. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And I've followed you ever since you had that interview with Charlie. I know the sacrifices you've done. And so thank you for everything for that. To everyone, I just want to thank you for your perseverance. It's been very tough. I know a lot of people are suffering, and so my job, as well as waking the unawoken up, has been to try to keep everybody in high vibration as we get through, to getting to the end of this finish line. But as you can see, things are evolving quite quickly. So just keep the faith and hold the line as we move to get into 5D through the Great Awakening. So everything was always remember, negative things are temporary, and everything's going to be simply Trumptastic.
Well, thank you very much. And we'll speak very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.